All right, immediately as soon as you make profile views, it's a great idea. As soon as you make profiles, it's a great idea to make AutoCAD views by typing V for view, new. I'll just call this profile 1. Probably a better idea to give it a better name than that. Tie it actually to the name of your profile. You're going to select from here to there. Hit and enter to accept. OK. We're going to make a new one. We'll call it profile 2. Same thing. Clicky clicks off. Select from here. Obviously that goes more up and down. Hit and enter to accept. OK. Now you have 3 views to jump around to overall. As always, it's a great idea to know where is the intersection. So in this case, our intersection 44, 40, 44, 50, 44, 50, right? 44, 54 is one of our intersections. And if you notice here, if I grab on this one now and kind of hover over, I should then get the alignment location 133, about 133.22. You will get these exactly. They will be important to know exactly. We'll look at how to get the tools in terms of labeling. I think you have that from last semester. But and try to get the station equations exact. In this case, you've got to know about where they are. And it's also not a bad idea to perhaps to know your surface, what your elevation is on your surface there. And you can do that any number of ways, but about 1113 is what you're assuming if you're going to match graded elevations. So you want to write those down. You want to write down also the starting and ending elevations of your road, but that in fact is why you have profiles. So we can go now V to profile 1, set current, OK. And we can go now to profile creation tools. So we don't have to use that file that we used, but it's a great idea to go through and use station offset, station offset, station offset, putting in your head 200 feet of tangent coming up into the intersection. Not necessarily, however. You can create a profile view to create. There you go. We're going to go through and we're going to create a view, create a profile here, and now we have this ability to go ahead and put in a tangent, draw a tangent from shift right click the endpoint, and we can now say at 200 comma minus 40, because again you're going down, it's out of scale by 10, you're going down 200 feet at 2%, that's a 4-foot fall. We've got that there. We can maybe then go up to the point that we want it to be at. In this case, this alignment is in the order of the 10 one, so we're going to go to 44 to 44, 54, comma 1130.0. That takes us all the way up to there. And now we can go finally, if we want, to the end point here. I guess we can go back now through that one there. We want to go now to create a tangent. Draw a tangent from the end point there. And I'll take it all the way through here to the end point there. We now have made a proposed alignment. We've called that layout 3. You might want to write some of these down. Layout 3 is our proposed for one road. You can then hit here cross. You're done with that alignment. You can come here now, click on that, back and forth. You can create profile creation tool, create your profile. Probably a good idea to go to profile proposed, hit OK here. Again, to your alignment tools. We'll start playing with more extensive alignment tools coming up, but we're going to draw a tangent from the end point there. at 200, comma, minus 40. Getting used to doing that. If you remember this case, it was the intersection was at 13322, comma, the elevation was 113. Add it 0, 113, 11130. It goes to there. And then finally, we're going to take it all the way down, in this case, to the end point here. You now have made a second proposed alignment. So this is basically kind of an odd road, but this is what it looks like in terms of the tin. So you have information now for both of your profiles. V for view, vector overall set current. I presume that second one was called layout 2. Check in the time here. We are about halfway done. Next thing we do is go V. We don't have an assembly, so we go Z space C space 0, comma 0. 100, we put our basic assembly down at 0. We create an assembly. We'll call this mark as. You can set it up as you need to. You want to put that at 0, comma 0, it being the main assembly. You then, of course, having started early and checked everything, you can go ahead and go to a basic lane, if you would. Pull it here, click on that, click on here. You have your basic lane. You might go to your basic curb. You have to be kind of, if you actually grab the right circle, it actually puts it in the right spot. It's kind of hard to grab those circles, but if not, you can move them around. And then we're going to go always and try to do a little general daylight here in the short term. You see that all lays in correctly. We can now go across, grab everything, go to mirror subassemblies, grab, and you have your first subassembly, your first assembly. We're going to make a new assembly now, and this we're going to call it the null assembly. So we're going to go to assembly, create assembly. We're going to call this the null assembly. That will be the assembly we use when we want to put brakes into our corridor. The idea of using null values in a data set is kind of important habit to develop. We're going to hit OK here. This case we're going to put it to 0, comma 20. You've got a null assembly. We're done. We are set to make corridors. So we're going to go V for view. Even though we don't need to, go to overall, set current. OK, we've got 2 corridors to make, and then we will break our corridors up into regions. So corridor, create a simple corridor, probably give them names again. 9999 underscore, I'll just call this corridor 1. Better idea to tie the corridor names to the centerline names. So we'll start requiring that, but in this case you're just doing the demonstration. That's why you've got sheets of paper next to you. We're going to go ahead and hit OK. Corridor 1, I'm going to grab space, well in this case southwest to northeast. From a list, obviously layout 3, if we remember that. And assembly, we're going to go mark as. We're going to remember the target surface is our topo. In this case, this was the topo that came from the data shortcut. We hit OK. It should go ahead and generate it. We made something there. We'll try it one more time. We're going to make a corridor. Select a simple corridor. This time, we'll call it 9999 underscore corridor 2. Hit OK. We're going to create an assembly. This is going to go from the northwest to the southeast. Our profile, layout 4, assembly, mark as. We remember to grab X topo, grab X topo as our target. Hit OK. Last step as we go through here. You saw that was we're going to run out of time, so I'm going to just stop here. The last step is to break those corridors up at the intersection into regions. So we're going to have one short region for each road, which we're going to gap more or less our design in there. So that's 20 minutes. In the next 10, we will finally get that into 3D where you can start playing around and running around and start thinking more holistically from there.